So it's been over a month since I last sturgeon fished. That's only because I've been busy doing other stuff, but we're finally back down here for some sturgeon fishing. It's 6:45 p.m. so we just arrived about 15 minutes ago. We're gonna get rigged up and we're gonna see if we can land the first fish of this trip in the next 2 hours before we have to call it good, because we can't fish at night here. So let me get rigged up here and I will show you guys what I'm rigging. It's basically the same rig if you guys are familiar with my sturgeon fishing stuff. Just got 50-pound mono as my main line. I'm running a slider, 20-pound mono tied to Dacron, tied to an 8-ounce bank sinker weight. Following the slider here, I've just got a bead here, and I've got a swivel, got a uni knot tied on this eye of the swivel for my main line, and then on the other eye of the swivel I'm running a 100-pound Dacron, also a uni knot here, and then also a uni knot here tied to an 8/0 barbless octopus hook. For sturgeon you do have to use barbless hooks, so make sure that there's no barb right here. And then for bait, we just went and caught the bait right before we showed up here, and we have some bluegill, but this one is a P-mouth. Just cut the tail off. And then today I'm also going to try something that I've never used before. This is Lunker lotion made by Mike's, and they make a bunch of different scents, but figured trout and steelhead is a natural fish in this river, so we're gonna see if this works. Just gonna put this stuff all over here and just add a little bit more scent to our fresh bait. When it comes to sturgeon, I prefer to use fresh bait. I think fresh bait is king. So we'll call it good. Put in the rod holder. Now we just gotta wait for our weight to stick on the bottom, and then just gotta leave it be and the waiting game begins. But that's the next step. We'll let it sit on the bottom. It's bouncing right now. If you look at the rod. Oh, that was way easier than I thought. Oh, dang it. I thought I was gonna have to play around. I'll take that. Not too bad of a spot. I would have liked it to be stuck right here, but right there's not bad either. 1 hour, start. This bag is gonna be our first garbage bag. Just got the tag ends that I cut off from rigging up. Throw it in here, and this is where all the other trash will go as well. Usually this is my normal backup bait, just pickled squid. Got 2 jars here. I tested this out last year once when I was fishing down in Oregon, but all I was catching was just a bunch of little fish, but it worked, so I can't say that they don't work. The only problem with these shrimp is they're very fragile, and so basically they last like 1 cast and then you have to re-rig. Squid's a little bit more durable in that sense, but we got fresh bait, so that's always my preference there. There's so much logs floating around in the water right now that they just keep bumping into my line, and it's tricking me into thinking it's fish biting. All right, I'm gonna call sturgeon fishing good for today. We only have about an hour left, so I don't want to mess with this anymore. Toss them in. We're just gonna do 3 in each trap. So, well, I guess that was a small one, so actually let's do 5. Let's be a little generous. 5 in here. These things really smell, so they should give enough scent to the crayfish. So toss these in here just like that. Goes number 1 right out there. So since we're done sturgeon fishing for today, I do have a smaller rod. I'm just gonna throw on a night crawler and we'll just see what we can catch. There's a bunch of fish that are jumping pretty close to the shoreline, so it could be a bunch of pike minnow, steelhead, trout, salmon, carp, who knows. So just gonna rig up a night crawler. Pretty simple. Got my main line tied to a swivel, got a small hook with a night crawler tied to a 1 ounce weight. That's the rig. It's getting dark out, so we're just gonna cast it out. Just gonna barely launch this thing out there. Just leave this here. Just enjoy the night as it approaches. There's a bunch of pelicans too. They're all right here. It's so relaxing out here, man. That's cool. I got a fish. He was messing with my rod for the longest time, but I wasn't sure if it was a fish. Oh, we got bait. Perfect. He was messing with my rod for the longest time, but I was just eating my chips. There's a lot of these P-mouth in the Snake River, and they make great catfish bait. I've never caught sturgeon off of P-mouth before, but I got a hit earlier off of P-mouth, so we're gonna test this theory to see if sturgeon bite these, which I don't know why they wouldn't. But I always forget to bring bells. I had bells right next to my desk too, and I just forgot about it. I didn't think we were gonna be doing this. I should have been prepared. What else is new? Oh. Man, this is no longer a sturgeon fishing trip. This is a P-mouth fishing trip. Who knows? We could hook into a bullhead catfish eventually too. Is he stuck? Gotta keep an eye on my rod. Is he stuck? Is he still on there?
I don't know. I stuck, so.
Oh.
I got him.
You got him?
That's close.
Guess we'll call it good for now. As long as it's sticking not too far down the current, I'm all right with that. 1 hour, 4:48. We'll recast 5:48. Well, this morning, one of our crawdad traps already washed up, and we got 3 little guys in there. Well, actually 4. I lied. We actually got something, so we can kind of say this was a success. But there is a minimum size rule. They have to be at least 3 1/4 inches long from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail. So we'll have to measure these guys in a bit. But we got 4 in there, and this one over here, I have not checked it, so we shall check this one together. Oh, that's what we're talking about. We can definitely
work with something like that. We've got 2 definite keepers, and then we got 5 smaller ones that we'll have to measure. But if they're all more than 3 1/4 inches long, then I guess we can kind of do a crawfish boil. We're gonna measure them and toss the keepers in a bucket. That way we don't lose them. This guy is 2 1/2 inches long, so we're gonna let this guy go. This guy's just right under 3, so he's a goner as well. And since that guy's a goner, these 2 in here are too small as well, so no keepers in this bucket. We'll move over to this one over here where I know we have a keeper. That's a keeper all day right there. Nice size one. Another keeper right there. This guy right here just made it. Toss these 3 in here back. So we've got 3 keepers. I guess that's better than nothing. I was expecting to catch 0, if I'm being honest. So earlier, about like 40 minutes ago, we had a deer cross the river right below the dam. Right now there's a deer like right in front of us crossing the river as well. That is a legit deer crossing the river. Don't move. She made it. Successful river crossing. Hold right here, please, please. I like that. What are you up to? Lose your weight? That's part of the game. Oh my gosh. I think so.
Wow. Jumping right in the current.
It's been over an hour since I put this cast in. I really hope that big log doesn't hit my line. That's just insult to injury right there. But what have I learned on this trip? P-mouth is not working. Uh-oh. Am I speaking too soon? No, it's just a log hitting my line. Is it under? Oh, this is gonna be fun. That log is taking my line. Well, back to what I was saying. P-mouth has not been producing. Well, I'll be honest. Nothing's been really producing besides these logs. So what I'm gonna do is once I get my line free from this log, gonna reel it back in, and I'm gonna resort to using a different bait. All right, come on, log. I'm holding this log in. I don't even know what I'm stuck on this log. Like, there seems to be nothing that can hold my line, but this log is just like, I don't know. I'm just gonna pull this log in. I'll be honest, this big log right here is giving me a decent back workout, so I can't really complain. Oh, I have a fish. Oh, this is a fish, bro. I have a fish. I don't understand. Yeah. There's a fish, I think. Yeah, you guys see that? He's pulling. So we got out of that mess, which is that big log right there. My intuition was right. I wasn't just losing my mind. I actually felt a fish tugging. And this guy right here is what was on the end of my line. Nice channel catfish. Snake River is known for a lot of channel catfish, so you know, I wasn't really surprised that I caught a channel catfish. And I was telling you guys earlier in the video, like, P-mouth is oftentimes our primary choice of bait when it comes to catfishing, but I've never used P-mouth for sturgeon, so I decided to give it a try. Got a hit yesterday when we arrived. Couldn't get the hook set on him, but then this guy, if I'm being honest, I didn't even know he was on there. I meant to go change my bait on my sturgeon rod, and he just so happened to be at the end of the line. So that's a solid, like, maybe 22-inch channel cat right there. So we're gonna throw him on the stringer because channel catfish is delicious, and we'll switch our bait. Got my delicious piece of squid right there. I'm gonna throw on shrimp right here. I'm gonna give them 2 shrimp, and we're just gonna wrap this. Take our miracle thread, and we're just gonna do this, really secure it tight, and then we're good to go. Shrimp and that piece of squid mashed into one bundle using that mesh and miracle thread. If this doesn't work, they win this battle. So we're gonna try to launch this into the current, and we'll see if we can win a sturgeon. I'll take that. We'll just call it good. It's only 11 o'clock and this sun is roasting, but I threw my 2 crawdad traps right here when we came to this spot, and then we've been just sturgeon fishing. So we're gonna check these traps and see what we have. Surprisingly, we got more crawdad in this trap in the last 3 hours than I did over there overnight. And it looks like we got a couple nice keepers in here too. So let's check that second one right there. I think with how much crawdads we caught, Chris and I actually have a decent crawdad boil. There's only 2 of us, so we don't really need, you know, like a lot of crayfish, but this one has a whopping 0, so I'll just leave that there. But this one is carrying that other trap, so
That's a good haul right there. I'm actually pretty happy that the crayfish are doing better than the sturgeon. I don't know what it is, but we got 1, 2, 3, at least 3 keepers, 4 keepers, and then these little guys, I don't think they're gonna make the legal requirement. So that's a solid haul right there. I'm pretty happy. At least something's going better than sturgeon fishing. That's a big one right there, well over 3¼ inches. This guy right here is just barely over, which he's legal. This guy right here, well over. Same with this guy right here, just right at 3¼ inches. This guy right here is also a keeper. Wow, we got a lot more keepers than I thought. But this guy's tiny. Toss him back. The last one, this guy right here, is too small. So, I'm not sure how well you guys can see that, but we got a solid, like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. We might actually be able to do a mini crawfish boil after all. All right, we got our pot of water boiling. Still got a long ways to go. All our crayfish are in here, and right on top of my cooler are the ingredients that we're gonna use for the crawfish boil. So we got 5 lemons, we got 2 onions, 2 potatoes, and some sausage. I forgot corn and I forgot mushrooms, so we're just gonna go with it. Then this is what we're gonna use for seasoning, just the crawfish boil from Louisiana. And this package right here is meant for 4 pounds of crayfish. I don't even think we have 1 pound, so we'll see how this goes. But nonetheless, this is just my first time trying it, so we're just gonna give it a go. Red and hot. All right, so there it is. My first attempt at crawfish boil, so I have no idea how it's gonna taste. Sausage, crawfish, some potatoes in there. No corn, no mushrooms, but we're gonna give it a taste test here. There's the meat beneath the tail. First attempt. Not bad.
Not bad.
Tastes like seafood to me.
Oh yeah.
Reminds me of crab. Just a little bit, well, a lot smaller than crab, but it's definitely got a crabby taste to it. Plain.
Kind of spicy.
Too spicy?
No, it's not.
It's got enough kick to it.
Yeah.
Crayfish is not bad. Honestly, for me not necessarily knowing what I'm doing, it's not bad. I'm gonna try some potato now. Well, that's got a lot of kick to it. You can definitely tell this has been soaking in the seasoning a lot longer than the crayfish. So we fished and accumulated 13 hours for sturgeon on this trip so far, and no sturgeon, so we gave up. We have about 2 hours left before the sun dips, so I figured let's go and try to fish for some crappie and some bass, just to, you know, end the trip on a good note. So it's extremely hot. I don't know if you guys could tell by my face, I'm sweating like crazy right now, but we're just gonna throw on a 1/32 ounce jig head with a little Hustler tube on there, and it is really hot. I shouldn't be complaining because it's only like 90 degrees, and
a lot of my California viewers probably just scoffed at what I said there, 90 degrees. But for us who live in the northern states, 90 degrees is like the max I want to deal with. So I don't know how you guys deal with like 100 degrees, 110 degrees on a daily basis. I'm glad I don't have to deal with that stuff. But nonetheless, I'm sweating like crazy right now. So we're gonna head down to this little slough right here, see if we can smack some evening crappies. There's a lot of bass. The water has really shrunk. Really? They schooled up right there? They schooled up right there? Let's catch them. I am going to stand in line with this pole so that I am out of the sun. Oh, on the drop. A little smallie. Bam. Off to a good start. Took it on the drop. Nice smallie. Man, they're stacked on that shoreline, huh?
Yeah.
The other side might even be better. Another crappie. Nice. You want them? About 8 inches? It's up to you.
Yeah.
All right. Chris is gonna keep them, so we'll try catch a few for his pan. Oh my gosh, that thing scares the crap out of me. I thought that was an alligator. Look at that beaver right there. That was legitimately heart-stopping right there. I saw him coming out and I'm like, is that a legit alligator that's attacking me right now? That is scary. Is this beaver gonna attack me? Got one. Ooh, drag polar. He's fighting around this log. Wow, this one's actually a decent sized one. Well, I say decent with a relative term to it. Yeah, that's a nicer one. 12-incher versus the 10s that we've been catching. See, this is what I'm talking about. So the other one I caught, that bass had like a tiger stripe to it, right? This one is just more like just brown, which I don't know if there's like a different strain of genetics, like 2 different strain of genetics in this river, but I always notice that when I catch the bass, they're either there's tiger stripe or just a slate brown one. Look at that thing. Kind of creepy if I'm being honest. Goodness.